difficult question, but what is your vision?
See, for me, it's not a difficult question at all.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Look, you can get a beachfront villa. It would cost you $20 million in Miami. That's so expensive.
How do you see your dream of the Phuket in 2035?
I think that would be a game changer for the island.
Can you share like what's people from US thinking about Asia in general, and let's say especially about Thailand and Phuket?
Well, I ended up investing in and operating a 3D printing company. New people that jumped into the market and thought they could be developers.
If it's low right now, the high season will come and it will be high.
And culturally, that's just not how they do it.
Hi everyone, I'm happy to have our new podcast today, and I'm super excited because I have very interesting guest. It's Michael. Michael lives in Phuket for
15 years.
For 15 years, yeah, and so happy to see you here, right? And can you tell a little bit for us more, because I saw that you have so many different involvements in different projects around Phuket and whole Asia. That's why it will be great for our viewers to see your introduction.
Thank you, Oleg. Hey, it's great to be here. Great to see your operation here at SID, and it's great to meet you. I think, again, I'm sure we've met before in the past. I've been in Phuket about 15 years. Came here from the U.S. I had done very, very well around the turn of the century. I was the importer and distributor of the Mercedes G500, the G-Wagon.
G-Wagon, yeah.
For all of North America. We were actually the small volume manufacturer, importer, and distributor for all of North America. So when my phone rang, there was somebody on the other end, usually a rich guy, who wanted to buy one. It was great times. But that's how I started, I guess, doing well and elevating myself through various tax brackets. But I got really, really, really hurt in 2007, 8, 9 during the global financial crisis.
Financial crisis, yeah.
I literally lost everything. So I went from driving Porsches and G-Wagons and Bentleys to working in a car wash. Wow. When I was 44. Yeah, it was tough times. But I got a job offer to come over here and set up a yacht club, and never looked back. Even though the yacht club never happened, it got me over here, and I fell back on real estate, which I had done back in the States, and I've worked through several incarnations of that. Marina, design, build, operate marinas. I ran Royal Phuket Marina for a while, and built a marina, operated a marina in Vietnam, and then came back over here to Phuket after COVID. So I've worked with Sanseri, among others, and most recently was their general manager of Southern Project Development. And
sounds good. It's very interesting for me because a couple of weeks ago, me and my team, we tried to do a little bit of analytics about what's going on in Thailand at this stage, because at some point people say that, you know what, never invest in Thailand, like because of the foreigners losing money there, or they don't understand how it works. But another people say it's the best investment time because right now is here's a golden boom in property and all of this, industry. And that's why I try to make little bit of analytics by myself, and I go to DBD warehouse. It's a homepage where is all of the company registrations around whole Thailand, right? And I was curious how many foreigners actually invest in Thailand. Like what's the proportion, right? And when we open it, we see that the registered capital of the foreigners in the companies in Thailand is 10 trillion baht, which is $230 billion
right.
Roughly, right?
Yeah.
But Thai invested capital is 12 trillion, and real proportion is 46% is the foreigners, 54% is the Thais. So in the end of the day, like we see that a big economy works with the foreigners, right? And then why I start to talk about this, because when I look for the list of the most popular investors and company stakeholders in foreigners in Thailand, is the number one is Japan, because of the, of course, manufacture of the Toyota, Honda,
Right.
Sony, big electronic companies and stuff like this. If I'm correct, number two is I don't remember exact. Is it number two or not? Is Singapore, Hong Kong, and China. It's three also big investors who is holding the companies in Thailand. And number five is US. So in the end of the day, so it's top five nationalities that invest in Thailand. But for me personally, I not so much people from US in Phuket especially, and that's why I'm surprised to see people like you, right? Because you're here for the long time and you see a lot of value here. Can you share like what's people from US thinking about Asia in general, and let's say especially about Thailand and Phuket?
Well, sadly, my countrymen, most of them don't know the difference between Thailand and Taiwan. When we travel, we tend to travel inside the States.
Yep.
Because anything you can do on a holiday or a vacation, you can do inside the States. You want mountains and skiing, go to Alaska. You want the beaches, you've got California, you've got Texas, you've got Louisiana, and you've got Florida, and then the southern East Coast.
Yeah.
You want culture and art, you've got New York, you've got LA, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got everything in the middle. So Asia isn't really on most Americans' list of places that they want to go. You add that to the fact that, honestly, it is a solid day, 24 hours to get here from just about any place in America. You've got either a 3-hour flight and a 7-hour flight and a 2-hour layover and then a 14-hour flight or whatever. It's not an easy place to get to. And then you add the complete disconnect from a language and cultural aspect. And it's just, if we don't know, it's really hard for us to learn about a place like Thailand. Now, fortunately, when I came here, I had a pretty good support team, even though I'd never been to Asia before. But when it comes to investment, there's something that most people don't know about, and even if you go ask your attorney tomorrow, he'll tell you it's not possible. I can own a company here with the same rights and obligations as a Thai company, by myself or with American partners, or even with you, as long as I am 51% partner.
Yeah.
It's called the Treaty of Amity.
It's only for American citizens.
It's only for Americans.
Yeah, that's one of the things that most of the people don't know, actually.
And it's one of, because of the way America's laws work, the whole ownership or making sure that we control it legally, because we don't like those, Americans don't like to be out of square. Right? We want to be inside the box where we know we're legally covered.
Yeah.
And the Amity Treaty company formed under the Amity Treaty allows us to do that. Now, we can't buy land, and we're still restricted by all of the jobs and the rules and regulations that foreigners are not allowed to do, banking, agriculture, et cetera. But we can own and operate and control the company by ourselves. And that's a big draw, because we can do that in Singapore, we can do that in most other countries, but here nobody can. And so it's kind of a nice benefit for being a Yank and being in Thailand. But I think that's one of the reasons why when you look at the top 5 and you see, wait a minute, there's no Americans here. You don't meet Americans here every day, like you do Brits or Australians or Russians, or very few of us, about 5 or 6% of the expat populations are Americans. But the business, we see the value there, and those of us that come over here and set up an amity company, as I have, we see the value, and then we're able to extrapolate and expand on that. So that's why I believe we have an outsized impact on those numbers that you just mentioned.
Okay, that's why. And of course, when I look at those numbers, I understand that in Thailand, not all the time everyone making a business in a very, very clear way. Sometimes there's nominees and something, but when we look at the statistics, we recognize that really foreigner impact is really high in terms of economy in Thailand.
Definitely.
But the next good point that we have that we, like foreigners, like you mentioned, bring the culture to doing the business correct, right? To register the companies, to make right P&L, like paying taxes and all of this clear thing, right? Which was before not much in the country because most of the people been doing business in the, like even without even register companies and that like entrepreneur culture, it's growing as well. But even when we look at those kind of legal numbers, it's impressed how fast it's grow in terms of foreigner investments here in Thailand. And here's also one of the question, like as far as I understand, most of those people, they work in like they just invest here mainly. They don't do much operational, and you're like a representative of the different people around, right? Or something like this, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like okay, sounds good. That's amazing because, like you said, in Thailand or in general in Asia, you are like an alien when you come here at the first time from any Western country. Whenever it will be Europe, like post-Soviet countries or America, like it's completely different. At some point, you cannot understand even you like a small kid.
Yeah, I still don't know what street I live on. I can point to it on a map, but
Yeah.
Even when I lived in Bangkok on Mahadlik Luang Nung,
Yeah.
I would tell the taxi driver that 6 times. Mahadlik Luang, Mahadlik Luang. You try to say it 6. They don't. It's so different that it's almost impossible to quickly adjust and adapt. So that's one of the challenges. And to your point, that's how alien it is when you come over here.
Yeah, that's why you still need to have this holding time unless you start to doing some movements with real, like that will affect things.
Yes.
Like, that's what I always speak with my team as well. That even you have really, really high expert in the industry in other country, it doesn't really matter that you can deliver value straight away here in Thailand. Like because you are like a small kid, like many people don't even understand that here is no public transportation in Phuket, not much. Like
Right.
if you don't know how to drive at least motorbike, you are screwed, right? So
Right. And I would never have a motorbike in America.
yeah.
And here, I would never not have one, even though I've got a car or two.
Yeah.
I still, to get around Chung Tale, high season, you're saving yourself hours by having a motorbike and to zip to the store and back.
And we still don't have helicopters around. That's why we don't have.
Well, no, I've got a couple of those too, but I don't like to brag.
Yeah, cool. So you mentioned that you live in Bangkok as well. Is it like why Phuket? Why not Bangkok?
Well, when I came here, I came to Phuket, so that was my. This is my home in Asia. I ended up investing in and operating a 3D printing company out of Singapore, and so I was based in Singapore a little bit, but going after the 3D printing market, and this is 10 years ago now.
Is it some small items or construction 3D printing?
No, it was the printers.
Printers. Okay.
Yeah, it was the printers themselves. It was
Okay.
a company called MakerBot,
Okay.
which MakerBot was the preeminent brand 11 years ago when we did that. Bangkok was just a much better location. And so it ended up, we were too early. The market wasn't ready, and the machines weren't quite, they required a lot of fiddling with. And the public wanted a machine you could push a button and make a dinosaur.
Yeah.
And so that ended up not working. But some of my old staff is still in the industry, and one of the most respected 3D printing experts in the country. So that makes me happy.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. You know, very interesting because when we speak about construction 3D printing, because I think maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, even, you know, like everyone speak about, so okay, construction industry will be changed, you know, because of you don't need to do classical, you know, concrete structures, you know, like with the iron, because the machines will print everything, and this is the future that we need to expect. I was young back then, and I look at it. Wow, it's I really like this future. But then, in the end of the day, this as a whole 3D printing for construction not really boom because too complicated. You need to install, you need to have a lot of space to put the actual machine to print it. But most of the construction lands is smaller
Right.
because they need to work with a small, you know, like logistics and stuff like this.
Sure.
Right. So then afterwards you cannot do it as soon as rain or a lot of sun. It's also bad. You know, so most of this 3D print technology for construction you can do only in some warehouse and then you need to deliver it anyway.
Right.
And then this technology is still
Right.
not there.
You lose the time saving and cost benefit.
Yeah.
Although it is nice because you've built a building inside of a building in a controlled environment, and that's always beneficial.
It makes sense probably for Mars, for Elon Musk, right? Like to do it over there because there is no competition and no market, you know, like there is
That's
you can
true.
build whatever.
No
you know, like-
competition and no market. Yeah.
yeah, that's how it works. But in reality, even when we as a development company, we're always trying to find new solutions. We try to be as much as innovative as possible. But looks like we as humans need to find another solution where the construction will be also faster to keep the same quality, same safety, and so on. But very interesting that you have this expertise as well.
Well,
You
one
know?
of the interesting things about Sanseri,
Yeah.
kind of segueing out of 3D printing and into precast concrete,
Yeah.
which is a little bit of both,
Yeah.
right? You get the benefit of a set of computer plans that go into a machine that make what you want it to do, but instead of it being a finished product, it's the 27 pieces that
To assemble.
to assemble. And the concrete factory that we have up in Chonburi is amazing. It's huge. It's spectacular. It's digital.
It's all delivered to Phuket, right? Like
Well,
from
it's-
Chonburi, right?
Yeah, from Chonburi.
Yeah.
And around Bangkok and any of our projects where we're doing that. It's villas. It's not so much for the
For the condo.
yeah. But it's immaculate, and it's almost 100% cycle. Meaning, or when I say that, what I mean is there's almost no waste. So we take the concrete that doesn't get onto the exact piece of the wall that's going and still at the factory as it gets scraped off or ground off, the powder that gets ground off of the edges, and that stuff gets washed away. It gets washed into a filter, and the concrete itself gets recycled and put back into the next
to
batch.
another one. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool thing.
In terms of economy, but as far as I understand, it's some factory. It's owned by Sanseri, or it's like it makes sense when you have so many developments to do it your own, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
is it it's used in some condos? Let's say in some, you know, like very very first level of the pricing. You know, like is it used as well or not much?
I can't say for sure that because they've been around for 40 years,
Yeah.
30 something before I got there. I can't say for sure that they never used that system in any condos, but none of the stuff that I've been working on.
In
So-
Phuket, it's a classical.
Yeah.
It's still some wall panels or bricks, right? Like and then plastering on top, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting to speak about Sanseri because not too many public information and media and stuff like this, and I'm not sure that you can tell many things, but everything what's going on right now in Phuket. Can you share like what is a Sanseri today in Phuket? Because it's how many 5 projects at this stage, I mean like big ones.
Well, to be clear, I recently left the company. My contract was up, and I have some other things that I want to get accomplished before I retire. So,
Yeah.
but all good, very amicable, and we're still working together on a couple of different projects, actually. But the plan was to create a southern headquarters, the society, which
Yeah.
we did in Chungtale. I know you've
This
been
looks
there.
amazing, yeah.
And so that's our headquarters for Southern projects. We've also got some social space and some community space. We put it in a place where it's very conspicuous. We're not hiding. We're right in the middle of everything. Everybody who goes in and out of Laguna drives past us. And we've got some empty space. We've got a great big grass lawn in front, about 400 square meter lawn, and a tree that we brought down from a chamchuri tree, which is a good luck tree, that we brought down from Bangkok, and was very, very happy to get that built and see the response by the community to what we were doing. Now, the reason, on top of an entree to the Phuket community, the idea behind me and the society was, Sanseri is this 40-year-old publicly held company. Everybody in Bangkok knows us, but almost nobody in Phuket does. The condos that we had built down here were primarily Thai-facing, toward the
Mainly
Thai
for locals,
market.
yeah.
So they really wanted to embrace the expat market without being disingenuous. They really wanted to say, we're here, we want to meet you, we want to do business with you. And it's not just because we want to get in your pocket. We want you to be part of our corporate culture as well. And so we announced it was a year ago, I guess, we announced 27 new projects for the Southern Division. Mm-hmm.
Mainly Phuket, right? Like
Mainly, I say Southern Division, it's
Yeah.
basically Phuket.
Yeah.
We have, we've launched 5 already, and I'm going to forget the names, the Tails, Canvas, 1D
Base,
Condo,
right.
Base, Chungtale, and another base getting
Phuket,
ready.
yeah.
Phuket getting ready to go. Because we've got our own, or because Sanseri has their own in-house sales and marketing team as well, it's a pretty well-oiled machine, right? Mm-hmm. They've sold over 40,000 units in the past 40 years, 200,000 clients over the past 40 years. So the database is substantial. The trust factor, because they are a high trust value company, right?
Yeah.
They value trust, and they make sure that they demonstrate a trustworthy nature in their business and the way that they approach just about everything. So that has lent itself to more and more and more repeat customers. We were talking about this off camera.
Yeah.
A lot of repeat customers. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but significant.
Do you know the story of the Sanseri from the very, 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 very first project 40 years ago? It was something in Bangkok, or it's like so long stories that not digitalized, like
Everything I know is hearsay. I know that at one point the XPM was involved in starting the company with a couple of partners, and grew it, and the rest is history. There's a lot of blanks in there to fill, and I'm not sure on all the answers, so I better not.
I see. Sounds good. But if we speak about real estate development, right, in general, so you like, as far as I see, you have different expertise in business in general.
Yes.
If I'm correct, right? So,
yes.
Like for you, real estate development right now in Phuket, we call it real estate boom because of the so many projects. Like that big developers like Sanseri came, like here, so many other big brands, and also so many small developments around, right?
Right.
What do you think about whole situation in Phuket right now? Is it a good thing what's going on, or it's some bad thing? It's of course it's a difficult question, but what is your vision?
See, for me, it's not a difficult question at all.
Sounds good.
And I wish I had a chart and a whiteboard here, I would draw this all out. If you look at where Phuket started, right, 30 years ago or 35 years ago.
You mean Patong?
In Patong with the, dirt roads or sand roads. And you look at the graph, right? Goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But if you look at the straight line, it does this. So we might be heading for a little bit of a correction, and quite frankly, I believe we are. But we're not in a bubble.
Definitely.
It's not a. It's booming because the world is booming, and it's booming because guys like you are so good at digital marketing and selling products online.
And selling Phuket in general
And
as a
selling
great
Phuket.
place, right?
And it's not a hard place to sell. And so I mentioned Americans, we don't come over here.
Yeah.
But as an American with people who trust me back in America, when I say, listen, you've got to come over here and look at this, and if you can't, I'll make a video and send it to you. I'm going to invest X amount of baht into it or X $100,000 into it, and I think you should come in with me. Here's the structure. Here's how I'm going to protect you. Here's how I'm going to protect me. It would never work with a stranger or an unknown picking up the phone and sending emails and online photos. It would never work. But if it's somebody that I've done 6 or 8 deals with back in America and made them money and made me money at the same time, and I'm deploying the same strategy here, now they're paying attention to what's going on in Thailand. And then they go to, well, nobody goes to dinner parties anymore, but they go to the gym or they go to the paddle club or, pickleball, and they tell their friends, oh, I just bought a piece of land in Thailand, or I invested in a condo, or blah, blah, blah. And it puts the conversation, puts the island in the conversation, puts the country in the investment conversation. And I also think that's part of why maybe we're in that top 5 list, Americans of investors here. Because the people that come over here have done deals in America before, most of them, I would imagine. And when we say to our friends back home, look, you can get a beachfront villa, it would cost you $20 million in Miami.
Yeah.
And it's only $2.5 million here, and it's in Phuket, and you get a sunset. So when we think, oh my God, 25 million a rye, that's so expensive. All right, historically it is back at this part of the graph, 30 years ago. But you look at what you get with that money anywhere else in the world.
Of course, it's still not expensive.
And yeah, there's no bubble.
Yeah, one of it's not a theory, but how I see is that Phuket was estimated wrong back then, because we have shortage of good properties.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of because mainly one of the most important things is building of infrastructure. That's magic of what's happened with Boat Avenue, for example, and all of the area around where we are right now. Back then, here was nothing, but then a lot of commercial properties make attention. People start to come to use it,
right.
And then in the end of the day, everyone around want to have the residential properties, and it can work on another way where you have completely empty area, so you build commercial and residential, and you develop the area, and your value of the property is increased, right? But what I'm trying to say is that what I see is that before here was no choice. Today, if you want to eat Thai food for $1.50, right, you still can find it. Like if you want to go to some Thai mama noodle restaurant
Sure.
with a plastic chairs, you can get your food for $1.50, right? Like, but before you don't have much alternative, right? Either you go to touristic place and you have some similar food,
Right.
but for over like estimated money, right? But now today you have a choice. You can go for Michelin restaurant or you can go to mama noodle shop, right?
Right.
You can
And everything in between.
and everything in between. If you want to drive, let's say, expensive G-Wagon, right? You can drive expensive G-Wagon, or exactly the same person can jump on motorbike and pass the traffic light or
Right.
traffic jam, right? And easily. That's why before we don't have a choice. Today we have more choice, and I believe all of the developments that's going on around. Of course, correction, as you mentioned, should happen, right? Like the good product, they will be increased in the value and in the prices. The products that not really catch the market needs, like they will be lowered down in the price and stuff like this. But this is part of the whole
it's
business.
just it's a cycle, right?
Cycle, yeah.
And we're going to hit a down cycle where we have an abundance of properties and not quite as many buyers as we had, or even if it's the same amount of buyers that we had last year, 1 year ago, because there's so many more properties finished and on the market. And some of them, let's be honest, we're rushing to get to market. They cut a little corner here, cut a little quality corner here and there. And they're not, there's some garbage out there.
Yeah.
There's some new people that jumped into the market and thought they could be developers and maybe almost ran out of money and had to drop the prices and all of the things that happened as a result of that happened. Maybe those projects will get developed. Maybe they won't get finished. There'll be a couple of those, but it's not going to be hundreds. It'll be 3 or 16. It's not going to be hundreds. And so the other thing is that we're in a cash market.
That's one of the most important things that I'm trying to explain
Huge.
people. Yeah.
People are like, oh, dude, there's, and this is even my thoughts on the grand scheme are, if you're in a condo complex and somebody gets divorced and has to sell their condo, and he bought it for 12, but he needs to raise the money, so he's got it on the market for 9. Well, now that's the market of every unit in the whole building. But that's not the way it works over here.
Definitely.
It's the way it works in America. That's not the way it works here. So that is a huge hedge. The other thing, and you and I know it, and the Thais know it, but foreigners that haven't got any time here, it's really hard to understand. Thai people don't lower their price.
Never. It's because they know that if it's low right now, the high season will come and it will be high.
And culturally, that's just not how they do it. If they bought it for cash, it's a long-term play.
Yeah.
And, okay, maybe I'd like to sell it for 10 million this year, but if you're telling me the market is 8, well, I'll just keep it at 10 and wait until the market comes back.
They not
so what
really
does
look
that
at
do?
the market momentum.
Yeah.
They not look at it, like.
But that keeps the market at 10
Yeah.
instead of lowering the overall market.
Yeah.
So that combined with cash, there can't be a bubble. There's nothing to bubbleize.
Yeah, and plus, in the end of the day, here is a lot of still rentals. Rentals is still works. It's still
Yeah.
high demand. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned, what's going on in property market in US in 2008. Yes, this one is, this is was one of the craziest things that under that money was nothing. Under that loans
Yeah.
and stuff like
Nothing.
this. People, yeah, and here is still it's a cash market. Even comparing to Bangkok, Phuket,
Yeah.
still in the cash market. If the developer has really good sales, everything is good. If developer don't have sales, developer not build actually, right? So
Right.
then it's not like in Bangkok public companies with the bankings they built, let's say, and
Sure.
then there's no tenant or no owner to that unit. It's just a play with the asset, right? So, but comparing to lands that we have remaining in Phuket for next 10 years, I think it's still enough to make good infrastructural improvements, like for developers and for the government as well, right?
Well, we can't. we probably shouldn't go down the rabbit hole of infrastructure,
Yeah.
but we can't finish this conversation without bringing it up. If the government doesn't do something significant about the infrastructure in Phuket, it will eventually become an insurmountable problem. Now, what also may happen before it gets untenable, completely unlivable, is, in 5 years, we may all have independent little drones, right? That we can just go from point A to point B, as long as it's 15 kilometers or less. We've got a 15-minute charge and away we go. It could be that. They could be waiting for that. I don't know. I heard they just broke ground on the tunnel from Katu to Patong, so that is definitely a step in the right direction. I know that there are, I met with Kun Boon and some of the other real estate, old school, old guard real estate guys, Barnett, so on and so forth, Stuart from Laguna. And, we're trying to put a plan together to get Bangkok and Phuket governments, because they don't always see eye to eye on everything.
Yeah.
Get them to play nice together and understand that developing solid, well-thought, well-constructed infrastructure in Phuket is good for everybody. It's good for Phuket, but it's good for Bangkok. And that's
Definitely.
it. It's not finger pointing. It's not you guys are bad and we're right and you're wrong. It's, all ships are going to rise in this tide if we just do a couple of small things to make it a little easier to get around down here.
Yeah, yeah. So, and do you know any news except that tunnel, maybe some new infrastructural improvements, what's going on with the new roads or something, or not much insights do you have at this stage? Have you seen the project with the new bridge?
Yeah, I've seen everything. I'm just trying to remember what I can and can't talk about. Yeah, I'm not sure what, other than the expressway from north to south.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've seen over the monument. I've seen under the monument. Under the monument always wins the argument.
Yeah.
At Tapka Satri, but I have yet to see a definitive. Here's the plan. Here's the stamp. We're going. I've heard that 100 times, but I haven't seen it yet. I have seen some really nice designs, some pretty cool-looking designs. And I know that the most likely, besides the tunnel between Katu and Patong, the most likely is some sort of an expressway north to south. That there's enough land over on the east coast or the east side of the island to make that happen. And
on the east side right now, it's the road getting much wider. Like when I see Paklok and that area, there's a big project with the new roads. Of course, eastern side is not that popular in terms of the sea, but in terms of the privacy, residence, in terms of sea view and stuff like this. So this is a pretty good region, like if you speak about, and it will be not that much problematic in the future comparing to areas that already developed that you need to find out how to transform it, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's why on the eastern part, I think it's also a big part of the future. But one of the main things that what me as a real estate developer in Phuket, I still not understand how it works. Why the land cost is, everyone look at the Phuket as same land cost. If it's a Phuket, it's the same. It doesn't really matter. It's Bangtao, or let's say it's a East, or it's let's say Naiharn. It's the same cost of the land. And comparing to the what you can do of the project. Not everything is luxury in Phuket, right? So and many companies would love to build not luxury product like good quality one, but maybe not that high in pricing. But land price, you cannot do it, like in that sense.
No, it's a real issue. It's one of the reasons why I've moved most of my business over the bridge. That's the name of my new company, Over the Bridge Group, and our OTB. And I've got some stuff happening in Pranbury, which is just south of Hua Hin. Land on the water there is 7 to 11 million arai beachfront. Now that's East Coast, but that's all that you get up there. And then same thing in Khao Lak, up in Phang Nga.
For Khao Lak, for me, it's always been, for all of my experience here in Phuket, it's always was dilemma why it's not grow as a Phuket fast. How I try to explain it myself, because there's no limited space, right? It's too long, too big, right? So, and to make sure that you brought the energy except tourism, it still needs to be a lot of investments, But right now, since we look at Khao Lak, first of all, one of the business models that everyone uses the beachfront hotels, which is today, if you want to get out from Phuket for really good 5-star hotel within $50 during the low season, $150 during the peak season, you can go to there and you will get this amazing experience.
Avani or J-Dub or
whenever, like Kalima, so many of them. But one of the points that residential energy is so difficult to move there because there's no
schools,
shopping
no
malls,
hospitals, no movies.
And in this case, this is one of the magic of Phuket. It's like a big hub and a lot of satellites around, right? So, but still, all of this infrastructure is holding people here, and you as a person who look at the really future, and you, as I see, you have really good expertise where to invest right now. Like you look at that areas, but this is really good for people with a long money, right? People who ready to wait, right? Who ready to invest budget in the future, right?
Right.
But today, Phuket still cash machine, still it works, and many people say, okay, it's done, it's already finished, not make sense to invest, and still investment coming. And one of the I think key metric from the things that you mentioned for me is how you can bring foreigner, or like, let's say not Western, foreigner lifestyle to the places that not evaluated correct comparing to world standards. We speak right now about Hua Hin, amazing place for retirement, and so many people love Hua Hin to go there, but not, for example, not too much infrastructure for holiday and stuff like this, or for people who will like in Phuket. Phuket is a holiday destination, right?
Yes.
And so on. But of course, if you have this magic of 7 million baht per ride for the beachfront land, whenever you build there, it's profitable. Whenever you do, it's 100% profitable.
Well, but you got to be able to get people there.
Yeah, that's the next challenge, right?
Right. If you can't go there if you can't get there, as my friend Bill likes to say. It's a little bit of a challenge in Hua Hin. Airlift. When I go up there, I either drive up or I fly to Bangkok, rent a car, and drive 3.5 hours through.
Which is in terms of time, and I think it's almost the same.
It's almost the same, and the headache is almost the same.
Yeah.
So I usually just choose to drive. Being an American, I'm used to long drives by myself, so that's no big deal.
Yeah, but in reality, if in those regions, like how about let's say Nakhon Si Thammarat, because it's also many people talk about this, because Phang Nga, everyone understands that yes, it's the next key player in the investment market of Thailand. Phang Nga goes to Khao Lak, and all of this will be developed in the perspective of next 20 years. Definitely, for sure, one way or another, it will happen, right? How about like destination of very south of Thailand? If we look at the, let's say, Nakhon Si Thammarat, and we look at the beaches, they're amazing as well.
Yeah.
But infrastructure is still not much infrastructure for the foreigners, right? Like that you can.
It's like you're saying, you can have $1.50 noodles or $1.50 chicken sticks.
Yeah.
Or there's. I haven't spent much time there, to be clear, but the choices and the market down there is different. You've got a lot of Malaysians that come over
Driving by the car.
driving by the car, and I know that that Laguna's doing a Banyan project over there, and it'll be interesting to see how that rolls out.
It's kind of should be like a second Laguna, right? It's same as.
It'll be small, much smaller.
I mean, like in terms of game changing.
Yeah.
You know, like into
Yeah.
because.
Well,
Laguna,
it'll be them planting a flag in the sand, saying, we're going to be here.
Yeah.
And I think as travelers worldwide get more and more savvy, by that I mean more and more knowledgeable about travel and about cool places, and especially the generation, well, I'll say the generation behind me, which is you, or even the generation behind you, which is, kids in their late teens, early 20s, they don't want to go to the places that they went 6 times with their parents.
Yeah.
But they may want to go explore some places in Thailand that aren't Phuket, that aren't Bangkok.
Because too much mainstream for them.
Too much mainstream. Okay, maybe we'll go up there for a night because my favorite restaurant, Gagan or whatever. But other than that, let's go be the first one to put a selfie from Kanom Beach or whatever the new second or third tier destination is, because that's the only digital currency that influencers really can leverage to ratchet themselves up. They can, make fake lips and fake whatever and try to make themselves more attractive. But you're going to peak at a certain point, and the only thing you can do to differentiate yourself is be in a destination, have an experience, and share that experience with people that will never be able to have that experience, most of them.
Yeah.
And so I think that you will see that as a driver in second and third tier destinations worldwide, but especially here because, let's face it, the entire coast on both sides is full of second and third tier destinations. Pranburi, great little town. Chompon, great little town, right? You drive through it and, it's so sleepy and so quiet. And they've got a couple of choices. There's a few restaurants there. There's a few, it's a second tier. It's not a third tier. Kanom, man, that's a quiet little place. And Suratani and some of the places where the ferry goes, these places will start to get just a little bit of a second home community. They don't have to go off like Phuket went off and like Hua Hin did. They don't have to. They can just have a nice little 6,000 or 12,000 people expat population that just sets it up, and the town just kind of stabilizes and stays like it is.
Yeah, yeah. Like if we speak about from economical perspective, right? So then it's a long money and short money, right? Expensive money and cheap money. That's why if someone have long money right now, it's a really good time to invest in those different destinations.
Yes.
And then, but the period of any, like a market hockey stick, right? It's still about perspective of 5 to 10 years, I guess, right? If you speak about Phuket, the actually average, your average investment round is 3 to 5 years right now. But with those kind of prices that we have, right? But in those destinations, of course, if you're thinking in the perspective of 10 years, you will definitely win. And you can win a lot. It can be a multiplication. It's not will be percentage. It will be multiplied, right?
Right.
But here's just a question of where is the people who have this long money, right? Because right now, what's going on in Phuket and around is mainly about short, short experience. Buy, sell, be involved, and then afterwards, you reinvest, and that's what's happened on the already adult markets.
Right.
But the markets that are childs right now. So then you need to have only long, long investment strategy, then you will be never disappointed or unhappy because your expectations will happen. Yeah, that's how I see. Like I can speak with you forever. It's very interesting. I think we have a good vibe.
Good rapport, yeah.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I'm really happy to have you here. Like I guess our viewers have a really good value from us today, and but our goal is to finish, and I would like to ask my final question. Right?
Okay.
Every my guest, I ask, how do you see Phuket in 2035, in 10 years?
Phuket in 10 years.
Phuket in 10 years. If we let's be in positive scenarios that everything what's been planned, been built, everything, all of the infrastructures that government promised is being created, right, and stuff like this. How do you see your dream of the Phuket in 2035?
My dream of Phuket, or what do I think?
Let's do in both. How do you want, and what do you expect?
My dream would be, a smooth infrastructure, a highway running top to bottom with exit only, no motorbikes, that allows the flow of traffic and people to get to almost anywhere on the island in 30 minutes. I think that would be a game changer for the island. I would like to see one or two more international schools. I'll selfishly say throw one of them up north over the island in Khao Lak or even Koh Loi, so that people with kids can start migrating to the north side of the island without alienating themselves. And I do think you'll see that. Once Bumrungrad, I was talking with David Boucher, the CEO of Bumrungrad. They're doing pilings now, so they are underway. I think they're 3 years out, but they've got like a 2028 mandate. They've got to be done, so they're moving fast. So that will be an interesting draw to the north side, because that's on the north and the east side, right? Close to the airport, you'll see a uptick in high-value medical tourism.
Yeah.
And that will create a need for housing for the people that serve that industry. So you'll see some mid-high range residential villas and luxury condos going in over there. You'll see 2 more marinas, at least under construction, probably 1 more finished and 1 more under construction, because Phuket really is the only place in Asia, other than Singapore, that understands the maritime luxury lifestyle community concept. I'll say that again. Phuket is the only place in Asia that truly understands and embraces the maritime luxury lifestyle community concept. That is, I've got a boat, it's parked there, I'm in my house, I'm pointing at my boat going, that's my boat. I can see it, so I've got a boat that I paid for, I've got a house that I paid for, I'm part of the community, my boat feeds the marina community, my house feeds the development and real estate and lifestyle community.
20 meters to the golf course and stuff like this.
All of that. I think that's a huge potential market for Phuket, and I hope they continue to explore that. I've got friends that are talking about projects on, believe it or not, on both coasts, but I'm excited about the possibility of that, and in Phang Nga Bay. There's, a million little islands over there, or whatever, 200, with a lot of potential, and all of that has to come through Phuket. We've also got the new airport, the Andaman Airport. In 10 years, that's what they're talking about for opening time. Now, I believe airport, yes, casinos, no. I don't think we'll see casinos, but I think we'll see that second airport, and that will be a huge impact on the top side, on the north side of the island as well. So, sorry, I don't see bubble, I don't see boom, I just see that angle just keeping off, and eventually everything around us will be mid-rises and luxury condos, and it'll be
think it's
much more
also-
of a digital business hub for Asia. I do.
Also, it's will be a lot of redevelopment as well by that time. That's
Yeah.
why I think it's a lot of changes we will see. Like 10 years ago, if you look,
Yeah.
you don't have any tunnels. You have a lot of cables around.
Yeah.
Like very small roads and stuff like. Everything is happened. It's maybe working. Infrastructure is following.
Yeah.
It's maybe not that fast, but we all expect that Phuket is an amazing place, and people like us will trying to make sure that it will be even better place to live. Right?
Agreed. I'll
Thank
do
you
my part. You do yours. All right.
Thank you so much.
And if I can help you at all, you let me know. All right.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much, and my pleasure to have a podcast with you today.
It's my pleasure
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Oleg.
I think that our viewers will be happy. Subscribe us, and if we will put the link for Michael LinkedIn or whenever social media, if you interested, to get some expertise or whatever, like I think you are very friendly to.
Oh yeah,
to
I'm
have
happy. Reach out.
To reach out.
Drop
yeah.
me a note.
Yeah. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thanks.